Hi, my name is Colleen Martirano, the Senior Director of Global Education for Living Proof. I would like to personally welcome you today to our virtual classroom featuring Michael Sean Corby, our Global Creative Director, along with Pooja Shah, a member of our Global Artistic team. Today, Michael Sean is going to walk us through the storyboarding to get the look, what happened the day of the shoot, model casting, and Pooja is going to share some insight on the Summer Trend Report 2020 of New York City street trends. So I hope you guys enjoy the course today. For future education, always check out www.livingproof.com/education. Enjoy.
Hello. Hi, I hope everybody is doing well. I'm going to pin myself so I can see if I'm making funny faces. Thank you. Some of you join us every time, and I'm so glad that you do that. I'm going to be completely honest. After the last virtual training, I wouldn't have even wanted to watch that myself. I was so bored that I didn't want to be there. So we put our heads together as a team and we said, how can we make these more fun? How can we make these like seen in MSC show live? And so we're going to be working toward that every single time with these now more real, fun, interactive formats. And look, if I make a mistake, if I mess it up, we're going to fix it together and we're going to talk about it. If there's something that I think can be done better, we're going to talk about that and how to get there. So it's really all about sharing and learning together, but it's also going to rely on you. For you to be a truly live audience, I need you to be alive as best you can. So, make sure you enter into those chat boxes, do some sort of digital raise your hand if you need to. Engagement during these because you're here live, and that's what's so important. Another thing we're going to do different is I get tired of the sound of my own voice the entire show. So we're going to mix it up, and we're going to start with our global creative team. And who better to start with than Pooja Shah from New York? This superhuman. From the day I met her, I was like, I like you. I'll never forget the first class I watched. Somebody asked, it was actually a decent question. What is the speed on the blow dryer and the temperature? Pooja shuts off the blow dryer and goes, come on, we're all hairdressers here. And I was like, harsh, but oh my God, I love her. And that's Pooja in a nutshell. She of course then with love walked them through temperature, walked them through position, and 100 other things dealing with angle and tension and you name it to get the look. She is very New York, but I'm proud to say she grew up in my hood. We both grew up in 626, 818. So a California girl who is all New York City village these days. Proud to call her a friend. So please clap, welcome Pooja Shah to our show today. And Pooja, one thing, you've always got these trends, right? You're someone I always consult with before we dig in and really do any collections. So I'm so glad you're ready to share what's going on in New York right now.
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you so much for having me today. Michael Sean Corby and Colleen, I'm so happy to be doing this and just to be reunited with stylists because creativity has been nil since this whole quarantine and pandemic has started. So to really dig back into it, I'm super excited. And I want to show you what I've been seeing on the street here in New York. It's a different time in our lives, and I think there are these trends that are happening that are really eye-opening that's going to probably lead us for the next year. And what's really cool is because there isn't really so much content being put out there via magazines and websites. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing. So we're not following influencers or trendsetters. We're actually following people on the street. And as we know, this is where an original trend starts. And that's what I wanted to start with today.
Cool. So let's see. I'm excited. And you know I'm going to pick your brain as we go too.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. So, if everybody has ever had a chance to work with MSC before, the one thing that he has always asked me to do if I have an idea of some way that I want to style hair or what I'm looking at, he will forever ask me for an inspo picture first, and then we go forward and look into the past and see what the future could hold from that one reference picture and that one inspiration picture. So as you could see in our very top left corner, we have Jude Law from the movie Talented Mr. Ripley. Two things stand out with what's happening in this picture. First, he has one of the best wardrobes I have ever seen. This is my summer dream. Man, women, whatever you are, binary, everyone's going to look good in what he's wearing. So I really want to just really start with how important your style is that also goes along with the hair. Next, I want to point out how long and loose his hair is. And what I've noticed is after our quarantine was lifted here in New York City, so many of my clients and friends have really accepted the fact that they're okay with their hair being slightly longer and a little bit looser. They had to go through a really awkward point, but then they pushed past it and really just learned how to love the length in their hair and different ways they could style it.
I love it. I mean, you can't go. If you haven't seen The Talented Mr. Ripley, hello.
5 out of 5. Yes.
Serious.
Watch it.
What
Yeah.
else is going on with short hair or grown out hair here?
Yeah. So this is one of my really good friends, Haley, and this is on our block where our salon is. And we usually undercut her hair and then let the wave kind of pop out in her hair how she wants it to. She was actually the original inspiration of Jude Law and how I was able to come to this picture because we had talked about it. And then I wanted to take it to the other references that we have, which is an Indian model named Pratik Shetty. And this is just really cool. It's a great way to see hair loose and totally coiffed at the same time, but it's the exact same hairstyle worn two different ways. So I wanted to show you the sleek side and the shiny side of how you could wear this mid-length hair.
Tell me, so with Living Proof products, because I know you're the queen of like mixing stuff up, finding ways to get that texture. What's your favorite moment in Living Proof with products to get this more wet look?
Okay, to get the more wet look, it is what I have been really loving is when the hair is wet, if you are going to use the flex shaping hairspray or control hairspray, if you're using it really close to the scalp and just kind of going along with the grain of the hair and pushing it down, it has a really nice hold. And also a great one is the forming paste, which is
Yeah.
great for the sleek look.
I-
So
And I found a new one I have to throw in. Saturate the hell out of your hair with blowout, damp, comb it into a sculpted look. Your hair is like a record player, like a vinyl record player. I didn't know she could do that.
I had no idea Blau could do that, and I'll try it today. That's awesome.
Okay, let's talk next look.
All right, so this is probably one of my most favorite things everywhere. Everyone has not gotten their hair cut in so long, and I've been able to walk around the city, and it is the longest hair I have seen in several years. The middle picture is one of my neighbors, and I talk to her every time I see her, and she actually braided her own hair, and I had asked her, how long did it take you? And she said a solid 5 hours. She did it by herself because her hairstylist was not around. But I feel like everyone has been really accepting the long hair, and it's the face framing that I've seen even more, where it's now finally passing the collarbone and going even longer. So if you look at that picture of Zendaya, because MSC, I know you love a celebrity. I just think, you know, she's just like, she's just perfection in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I just love how everything is behind her shoulders and everything is falling back, and you can see just little whips of hair and length from the back of it, which I think just looks really cool. And then with our very first picture, I mean, guys are letting their hair down. And it is just so cool to see because you don't really get to see that as much anymore. And in this humid, hot weather, people's curls are just popping.
I love it. So it is. So what you're saying is time to release the man bun. Just let it out. Let it go.
Yeah. It out. I think that man bun trend needs to go away for sure, and let's just get it long and strong.
I've been caught now. I keep wearing an elastic in the top of my head, so I sort of look like a caveman or something from the Flintstones, Pebbles and Bam Bam. I have this little thing. So
Yeah, when I saw you yesterday when we were reviewing, I liked how your ponytail went over to the side. It was cute. Very cute.
super hot. What do we have next?
Okay, this is the summer hairstyle is my best way to say it. It is summer almost everywhere in the world, and it is just one of those things where it's like you get your forming paste out, now you get your blowout out, and you are slicking that hair back and showing off like your beautiful face and complexion. What's been really cool is that you've noticed a lot of people have started wearing less makeup because everyone kind of has been home, and I feel like everyone is embracing their natural glow while putting their hair back. But there's something to be said about a center parting and a low bun because it not only takes the hair off your face, but it is a confident hairstyle because it does show so much face. So a couple of things in all the references that I chose. If you look at the one with the girl wearing the yellow, I love that she has a natural bun and it's her natural hair. So even though she slicked it down with gel, it's still her natural wave pattern coming through, but also still able to look really sleek. The next version of the person smiling. So many reasons why this picture is great. First, just her inner glow and her happiness, but her eyebrows just kind of show how beautiful, natural, it's your natural vibrance that comes out. And if anyone has been stuck in quarantine like us, no one has been able to get their eyebrows done. So I just kind of really connected with this photo in so many ways.
Rubbing against my glasses.
Exactly. And the photo in the corner with all the eye makeup, I don't know if everyone else has noticed this, but because so many people are now wearing face masks, eye makeup is having a real comeback in a big way because lipstick is not selling. And I've just seen so many cool young girls just wearing the most beautiful eyeliner, and they're creating like this art project on themselves, and everything matches from their mask to their outfit to their eyeliner. It is amazing to see. So I wanted to really amplify that because we're seeing a lot of that, but it's still hair tied back and sleek.
Yeah, it's like from the graphic lines from the makeup to the graphic lines in the hair. I think it just it's really showing your personality. What is your favorite living proof baby hair fixer? Because there's a lot of baby hair here, and I'm wondering how do
Yeah, I would again, I have to go back to something with hold. And so it would either be using the blowout or using the forming paste and putting heat on the forming paste and kind of sticking it to your scalp is the best way to go to get that shine factor from it.
perfect. All right, what do we have next?
That is it for the trend.
That's it. So, Pooja, thank you so much. And did we get some questions coming through, Colleen, or just like love for Pooja, maybe?
Love to Pooja and Anil. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Angel Anil says the Indian Vogue also killed it. Bits and pieces of the hairstyling, and she's loving it.
Yes, 100%.
I
I've been very inspired by my brown people lately. So I've been going on deep dives and looking at all the models and seeing what else is out there. So thank you.
love. I am trying to, oh, there I am. My video is pinned. I'm ready to go. So, before, another thing that we weren't doing before was we're like, let's make an up style, let's make a braid, let's do a haircut. And you have no idea at the beginning what you're about to see. So, Colleen, let's show them what they're about to see. This is one of my dream humans on the planet, Alicia Vikander. I just love her look, from her modeling for Prada to being on the cover of everything to being Oscar nominated. And I think, you know, missing the red carpets, we're normally full of red carpets around here. But I think she was so ahead of her time on this, right? Because it's like Star Wars movie meets warrior princess, like ready to battle the world. And yet it was okay to wear with a beautiful little flowery dress. And so I think that this is the perfect look for summer that we should be showing you. And so I am going to, if we can click out of inspiration, I'm going to give you a little demo on how to get that look. And today, this is really fun, and Pooja is going to, you know, chit chat with me some too. But today, I'm actually going to work on 3 mannequins for those of you who saw my teaser on Instagram last night. So the first one, I'm going to do a lot like Alicia Vikander, and I'm going to show you how to get that texture so it's natural and looks like she's been maybe to Burning Man a little bit, but still elegant. And then we're going to talk about what happens when your model shows up not looking right. And then we're just going to go for a total freestyle version of it. So the first thing I cannot forget to share is that any upstyle you're doing, you must first start with a blow dry. If you're doing weddings, if you're doing special events, and you're having people just kind of show up with whatever, that's your first mistake. You have to build the direction. You have to build the movement. You have to build the structure into any design or shape you want to create. And 9 out of 10 times, folks, that involves a blow dry. And I know, because I had to blow dry 3 babies here yesterday, and it was like having a full book at the salon, right? No assistant for this guy. So oh, by the way, if anyone wants to come down and assist me, you know, in the coming weeks, come on down. So anyway, so what I did was we got it nice and smooth. We used directional blow drying. Many of you are familiar with living proof techniques. If you're not, check it out in the Smart Guide, Smart Methods. All that is /education, I'm sure. So what we did was we took and we put our blow dryer with the concentrator. And I know that we're kind of the anti-concentrator company for the most part. And what I like to do generally is I'll start with a bigger Mason Pearson style brush. I'm going to chase that water out of the hair. Then I'm going to lay it down with some blowout when it's about 80% dry. Now you're really feeling it start to get in there and polish and detail the hair. And then I'll move to something smaller and tighter. Sometimes I'll just go with a comb or anything where I can get nice and flat to the head. And then you just go ahead and pin that in place. So, new format in the interest of time and it being more like a cooking show where they're like, put this, and now it comes out of the oven. I'm going to skip some of the boring crap and get right to it for you. So from that point, we sectioned, and what we did is we want the sections to show. So if we didn't want the sections to show, then we would concave them a little bit more so they would be hidden by the previous section. But in this case, we really want them to show. The sectioning is from here at our recession points on both sides, not the temple, recession. If you go all the way to temple, it's going to be like some grandma, mama's family looking weird hairdo. If she looks like, you know, the Dracula from Bram Stoker's Dracula, don't call me. I told you, recession, not temple. Okay? Then you're going to go all the way around to the back. You're going to go to the crown point. Do a nice rounded arc. It doesn't have to go to a point. Remember, seeing it is important. Those lines are giving design to it. And like Pooja's trend was saying, there's a lot of graphic happening, right? Graphic lines in the hair, graphic lines in the makeup. Your second section, and always start at the top in the crown area, is just going to go from that crown point down to your occipital point. And then bam, you take both sides. This is what's going to give you the 3. You take both sides from your west to your east mast. And you know what? If you're more pro East Coast, you can go from your east to your west. It doesn't bother me at all. She's a little crooked. So now that we've got her sectioned, what I want to do is to go ahead and to show you how to first use a bungee. And I'm sure everybody has used these, but what I find is these were really designed for, like, you have a horse or a donkey ponytail. Your ponytail is like that big. And these babies were designed to, like, get around it and, like, yay! It looks like a sofa on top of your head, but it stays. They're not always so good for smaller ponytails. Have you ever put one of these on a little girl and it just goes falls to the bottom, right? Like, it's cute. The metal is bigger than her actually ponytail. So I'm going to show you a little wrapping technique that makes it much easier to do. Also, I want to create a little bit of a lived-in texture. I don't want this to be flat and sleek. So my go-to for this is going to be that I'm going to lift up sections sort of intermittently, and I'm going to use the instant defrizzer, which after doing QVC for 2 weeks straight, I'm like breathing instant defrizzer, and I have all these new uses for it. So I'm so excited. And what this is going to do is this is going to super hydrate the hair, but it's not greasy, it's not oily. Remember that 5 oil blend just really gives you a nice polished finish. And the reason I went spotty with it is that will give the little indentations to the hair. That will give you the little dips and dings that you're looking for. And instead of using a Mason Pearson brush, I'm going to use my Denman, more of a vent brush. So you can see I'm starting to get more of a grain-like hair. It's much more refreshed and more summery looking. So once you've done that, you've kind of combed through, get it all the way through to the ends, like so. And the next thing we want to do is we want to start having a look at how much volume you want to put in this hair and where. And so what I like to do is I like to hold it and then I like to kind of move it around. Now if you look at that Alicia Vikander, you'll see that it's by no means sleek, it's by no means flat on the top. It's actually a little bit soft and messy. So you will be my mirror here. A little bit soft, a little bit cool. Are we looking good? You are my mirror.
Look great. And we got a couple of product questions maybe for you and Pooja.
Get it.
So Anel, now I know how to say her name correctly. She's loving seeing all the curl and texture trends that are out there. Can you guys share your top 3 favorite products to accentuate texture and curl?
Yes. Hold that thought 1 second because I want to get this band in and then I'm going to yap curls the whole time. Important with this hook. So it's not super visible. You're going to start on the underneath and then you're going to use the back of your hand to really press that down so you can control it. Using the back of your hand, still pushing it. Now it seems counterintuitive, but I want you to cross the anchor. I want you to come back toward the pinky, then push it down again, and then I want you to go down toward the base. It's that zigzagging that's going to hold it in place for a smaller section. Now you can come around and secure it in. Okay, so that was a great question. You want to talk about curls a little bit, Pooja? Because I know you're like the curl queen.
Yeah, can I also just point out something with the band that you put in? You did such a good job, and that was such a great trick to tell him to cross over the pinky. And if you notice, the whole time he was keeping his hand directly onto the head. It didn't move, and he was able to hold the band with the bottom of it, hold the band with the bottom of his hand, because that's how tight he was to the head. So to get that height on that ponytail, I think that really matters. Curl products that I love to use, 3 of them right off the bat. Nightcap is wonderful for a really soft wave. My all-time favorite product, No Frizz Weightless Spray. I like adding those together. That's what I have in my hair right now. And then if I ever need a little bit more hold, I'll add full thickening mousse.
Love. Oh my God. For curl, I'm like with curly hair, We would sell so much weightless spray if I had my way with all curly hair. And this particularly is for like, maybe you're not coily curls, but you're natural wavy and you want more curl. I'm talking quarter of a bottle of weightless spray on medium to long hair and let it dry. Put cute little chopsticks in your hair, do a bun, do a little pin in your hair. You will have hair that lasts all week and it's ridiculously cute. I love it.
It sounds amazing.
Now what I'm going to do, we've all done this a million times, is I'm just going to take hair from underneath and I'm just going to wrap it around. You only need to do this on the first one only because this is the one that's going to show. So I'm just wrapping that around until it ends. And then get yourself some shorter pins. For years I was like, ugh, those don't hold anything. And I was kind of like the anti-shorter pin. But you need these little shorter pins to sort of tack things in here and there. So now that I've got that, she's got a good texture. I used Blowout. I might have cheated and had some old texture mist floating around too. Shame on me, shame on me. So I wanted to get a nice sort of textural feel floating in that hair. And then I took some full dry volume blast. So she's got a lot of grip so that I'm able to start shaping the look that I want. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me put this going the other way so that's not going to show. Didn't want that showing. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is give it that bend here. And then I'm just going to, when I like the size of that bend, then I'm just going to pin it down to the head. For this, I'm going to use a bob pin because I really want that to be more like a staple going into the head, if you will. It could be higher, it could be lower. I definitely want to see some of that space. So I'm going to keep it a little bit more open. Some people, they like, it to be flat to the head. Seriously, it's a season to taste. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to take this. Remember, I said the band gets wrapped with all the others. So I'm going to take this, and then this one's looking for friends. So we're going to go through the loop there, and then we're just going to, when it's finished, we're just going to pin it down to the opposite side. Now, you might, if you're going for like full on, like, whoops, oh, where'd it go? If you're going for like full on, you want this to be wild, you could definitely like let that spray out a little bit, but not yet. I'm doing that later. So this one, I'm just gonna, again, take a short pin it in. I'm not obsessing, right, about is it perfect, because we want it to be a little bit messy. And then what do you think I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna do the same damn thing is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lean it forward, but her hair is longer in the rest. So I'm going to lean it forward, and we want to do that same kind of movement, right? Like you can twist it under, you can pin it down again, which is going to give it a nice uniform look. So I'll go for that. But again, all I'm doing is I'm looking for balance here. I'm just making sure that it balances from the previous. So the previous one, I went like twist left and push into a wave. I'm going to get crazy here. This one, I'm going to twist the opposite way, right? So which would be twist right. The opposite of right is. So now I'm going to twist it the other way, and it's just going to build in more balance to the shape. Okay? So take your first pin. Don't use your teeth unless you're home alone, which I am.
And I think a good trick that you're showing right now, MSC, is that first pin that you are putting in to connect the ponytail. It actually helps to put that pin into the following ponytail so it stays in versus right into the scalp. It gives it somewhere to go.
Exactly. Could be painful the other way.
Yeah. Not brain surgery. No. Feels like it sometimes though.
And this is one of those things, like I've got to pin it in, And then I've got to have a look at it too, right? So if it's looking right, if it's looking balanced, then it stays. If it's not, you go. So we've got one in one direction, one in the other. Still feels a warrior-ish, which I'm loving. And then here we're going to give it some lift. Getting a few stray hairs there. So I'm going to tack it down. Before I bring it around. And then, so this is going around, and then it can go through the loop again. And then this one, I kind of feel like, hey, maybe we will leave some pieces kind of hanging there. I'm feeling crazy. Just to kind of give it some fun. And now with this, actually I don't like that. So with this, I remember what I like to do better. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend all this a little bit. And then I'm going to make it all into one kind of big pony. So I'm going to take the first one, and I'm going to take an elastic. Use this silicone elastic. We use silicone in our elastics, not in our hair products. Ba-dum-bum. And you only have to go around twice. Doesn't need to be the tightest thing in the world. You'll see that's just kind of gathering the shape. Want to make sure it's a good proportion without her leaning completely forward. So it's just kind of gathering that shape. And now I take another one. Twisting in the opposite direction. And if you just kind of do that, twist one direction, then the other throughout it, it gives you kind of a nice feeling. And maybe you could pin that up or yes, no, yes. Let's see. No. Huh, that was easy. Screw it. Okay. So if you want a little more volume throughout the thing, you can just take a little hair at the very bottom. I know Marnie will love this. And just give it a little tuggy, and it makes it more bulbous, which I kind of want some there, but not so much at the bottom, because that's not great. And then my favorite finisher, I know it's supposed to be like while you're blow drying or while you're styling, but my favorite finisher right now is heat styling spray. They're like, that's not what it's for. It gives me just like a baby amount of hold and control and lots of shine. So the important thing to remember is when you're doing these little babies, or hopefully real human beings soon, make sure that you check her everywhere. Does she look good here? Check. Does she look good here? Oh yeah, check. Does she look good from behind? Oscar worthy. And does she look good here? Check. Right? So make sure that you look at all these from every angle, because what's going to suck is you're going to do this for a wedding and then she's all cockeyed from the front or weird looking from one side. So check your balance, check your mirrors. If you don't have a mirror, get away from it, right? Just step back 10, 5, 15 feet and have her do a circle for you. I think people have really gotten away from that. We just hone in on our mirror and the circle still works. Any questions about that?
You're getting a bit of love for this look, just so you know. And so we do have a question from Cameron. He would like to know where you're getting these regular size silicone elastics.
They're in this box that this superwoman named Colleen Martirano got me. But they already come in it. But other than that, I am the Amazon king, some might say queen. I get something from Amazon like 10 times a day, and it's things like these. Another place where I know they have them perfectly is a place called Namie's Beauty. You have to actually be like industry, you have to have photos of your work, but I don't think they're, I mean, come on, it's a pandemic. I think they're pretty much taking everyone right now. Um, but most of you, if you're on a creative team or if you've taken any pictures of your work, they've got all that cool stuff that when you go to a shoot, everybody has it in their kit. So Namies, Namaies.
I check it in the chat box, guys, and I'll put it in there. One more question for you and for Pooja, coming from Julia. She works in television, and very often she's got to style someone's hair from dry. And so she would like to know, what are your tips for styling straight from dry and maybe some product suggestions?
Yeah, so I hate to talk about it too much, but that weightless spray that I said dump a quarter of a bottle on a full head, we also call it magic water. What was her name again?
Julia.
So Julia, I'm sure you have a water bottle, especially if you're working in television, you got to wet people down. Mist to about, get it 20% damp there. Take and put another 10% in weightless. It will start to wick away oil and water from the hair. And then just do sort of a looser brush with your, with the Denman style vent brush. And then from there, you decide, do I want to create volume? You could start going into blowout. Am I looking to do something more sleek? Then you could do a product like our Vanishing Oil. So I think the first thing to give you that heat time to be able to develop shapes in the hair would be to start with water, magic water, known as weightless spray. And then do I want to take it up or down? Blowout's going to take it up. Full mousse is another one that could take it up. Taking it down, I think everybody's obsessed with our new Vanishing Oil right now, so hopefully you can get that soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can I add into that really quick too, Julia? I would say if you had one of your actors or actresses coming in with a wave or curl in their hair, you could take it down using the No Frizz weightless spray. But if you came in with someone who had flat hair, you could go in with the blowout on dry hair, and you'll be able to build up that volume pretty quickly.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does work that way, but one section at a time, or you could be.
Great.
It's like, let's see our next slide. So this is what we did. And now it's time. I said we're going to get real around here. This is a 360 of a shoot that we did with the same concept, with the same inspiration photo of Alicia Vikander. Cool. But, the model got there. And if we go to the next slide, so we had booked a model with that long, luscious, gorgeous hair, and she arrived like you see on the right. So we were immediately in what I call editorial panic mode because we thought, how's it going to work? Do we change the look? Do we change it up? Well, we've already committed this look. So you were there, Pooja. You actually did the look. And so if we go to the next slide, we were like, how do we get that in there? And so what I'm going to teach with this section is how to add extensions, because if you have a look in mind, if you have a vision, always choose the best hair possible, which we did 2 weeks previous. But if the best hair possible isn't working, then always have a backup plan on how to fix it. Next slide. Pooja, can we just talk about, I'm going to show the extensions and how we fixed it, but let's break it down why I still love my original inspiration picture. And then the other one, I don't know, for me, it got a little clinical. It's all white. What's going on in your opinion?
Yeah, so you could see my uneasiness with this because I had a really hard time. This is a work that we worked on for a solid 4 to 5 months trying to figure it out for this shoot.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing a photo shoot or taking pictures in general, everything matters, right? So MSC had pointed something out. This looks really clinical. A white background with a white shirt, and she basically looks like she's not wearing any makeup. And this look is slightly aggressive, and none of it really matches to me. Yeah. Is what we kind of figured it out. And so I think all of those things really come into play, the way things are styled, accessories, and so on. Yeah. Technically, this look looks really beautiful, but I just imagine if she even was wearing a collar of some sort, or even a brighter color, this would change the picture in so many ways.
Totally agree. I think two things I would consider would be maybe, I mean, she already cut her hair, adding more of a copper or a buttery tone to the color, and definitely backdrop. So in our future shoots, we want to start thinking about moving away from sort of the clinician attitude of backdrop, and why Alicia looks so incredible is because you can see she's living life in that look. And I honestly think that the image on the left is more living proof. So lesson learned, beautiful look, but with you, collar, earrings, wardrobe, dress, backdrop,
makeup,
same exact hairdo. I promise you it's like magazine ready. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on in to extensions. So now we actually have that model now. I'm going to say it's like, nub. Now I did an extension on the top and I did an extension on the bottom. And so this is the model from the lob haircut we taught in a tutorial a while back. And again, you want that long hair like we've already had, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. So I am going to use just one weft, right? Not weft. I always forget the T. Weft. And so it's has 3 prongs. Actually, these are amazing because many of you know I'm a vegan, and I also don't totally agree with like a pilgrimage to have your hair shaved off and then people make billions of dollars off of it by selling overpriced hair. This is actually a manufactured hair that doesn't tangle, that looks beautiful, that doesn't have that cheap glossy shine. It's Marie Claire. And it's amazing. It's available on QVC, and I'm a QVC guy, so if you want to check those out. But with this, I'm trying to go around a little ponytail with it, as you can see. So I've already got the same exact sections. I had to go tighter like the image because she's a nub. I put one on the top and I put one on the bottom, but I saved the middle to show you. And so if I were to take this and like clamp it in and wrap it around, then it's like too thick. So what I need to be able to do is to put the clamp into elastic, right? Like it needs to be able to click into elastic, right? And then click down and it will be held. The problem is I did hand-tied elastic and it is so tight that I can't get anything in there. I tried putting the teeth in, came out looking like a snaggletooth. So what I did was I added just one piece of elastic at the very top that I know I can pick up and wrap around. But these other teeth, I don't need them. All they're doing is adding bulk to the situation. So what do you say we make them go? I'm going to show you how to remove these easily. Take a razor, just any sort of, probably better if you use this kind of razor. Sorry, Pooja, I know she hates these. So all I'm going to do is I'm just getting under the thread there. The fabric on the back of these, it's great. It's kind of like a bra or a pair of panties. It's just kind of lace, right? And so then I'm just tapping with the razor from underneath, and it lifts off very, very easily. So my fear with going in with scissors was that it will just, you're nicking at the base, and that's what you want. Also, I have these extra short hairpins here, and don't tell my dentist, but those little balls on the end, I bit them off. They come off real easy. I didn't tell you to do that. Use your tweezers. And then what you can do is, these suckers are sharp now, I know, because I stabbed myself yesterday. And so that will stab right through. And now we have a good locking device. So first thing is, I need to find that darn elastic, the looser one that I installed, which is right here. So I've got it in my hand. Sorry if you can't see that. Stay. Can you see how I... Oh, you can't. Oh, damn it. Okay, well, I kind of showed you over there. So basically, picture I'm putting the teeth into that band while it's open, and then I'm clicking down, and then I'm like, giving it a shove and bending it around. So it starts to take the shape of the pony. Now, what you need to do is don't wrap overly tight. Keep it kind of loose as you're seeing where you want to put it. And see, that's thickening it up nice. You don't need a whole like Sally Beauty Supply giant weft. Looks like you're working at a diner in the 1950s. You don't need that. You just need enough so that you're giving the illusion of longer hair. And so now when I get to the point where I can't go any further, I'm not taking it into the base, but like Pooja was saying earlier, I'm taking it into the hair. So it's hidden into the hair. We know we've got a nice wrappy kind of look that we're doing. And so now I've got the same sort of look that I can duplicate. But with this one, why don't we do something just a little bit different? Maybe we'll add a little bit of volume, maybe. So I'll take and I'll just, from underneath, just going to tap that. Take a top section. This is more of a lacing topage, if you will. Just to blend those sections together. Then loosely take it. Same thing from underneath. Not a lot, because we're just trying to connect that hair a little bit. Here. Give it some texture, give it a new life. And same thing, we're going to wrap hair around the top. And I feel like this gives you the ability to really just kind of play, have fun with the techniques, wrapping it down. And when you're wrapping this, this actually gives you a little bit of a boost. Okay, putting this in. Again, go from behind and push forward because you can hide that better. And then it's same thing, but let's just do kind of like a loopity-loop thing and let the hair spray out. Let's try that this time. Why not? Okay, same thing this way. So it's just kind of coming together. Oops, my pen came out. I meant for that to happen, not. And I find that sometimes these looser versions of things are what people really want anyway. She doesn't want to look like she just got out of a Star Wars movie, probably. For her wedding. Just giving a nice little softness there. And just twisting that.
Something that was really nice to notice with both of the doll heads that you showed.
Yeah.
Shine consistency is consistent from the roots all the way to the ends, and I think that makes a pretty big difference with this look in particular versus if something is too fuzzy and everything else is too shiny, it looks like two different hairstyles on one person. So the
Right.
consistency of the shine from roots to ends makes a big difference.
Totally agree. And this one I'm going to twist in. Why? Because I put a profile on it. Did you see that? That is ugly, right? But easy to fix, right? Take it, pin it back. Now it's like getting in there. It's more detailed. It's looking cool. This hanging down could be kind of like that's her warrior moment, but she's not full on like ponytail centipede action coming down the back there. So this is fun. Little pieces there. And again, it's a good point, Pooja, about keeping that texture the same. Because these are short hairs, I'm going to use Flex. Flex and the Can is my favorite smoothing device. Like so. But there's another version, right? So we went with the same principle. She had little nubs, but now it looks like she's got this long, beautiful, kind of luxurious hair. So a different take, how to put extensions no matter what the look.
So, Michael Sean, is it possible to put both of your finished looks into the view of the camera right now? Can we look at both of them? Okay, so you've got the first look and the second look. I would love to see in the chat box, like what is your favorite look so far? It's a tough one. All right, I think we're in a tie right now.
Wait, I have one more thing. Are we out?
Perfect.
We have the best thing coming up right now. Just wait.
Yeah, so next slide, please. We have a few minutes. Okay, so this was something fun where Pooja and I were at Milk Studios, and hello to our friends from Sweden, from Session Group. We love you if you're watching. And we weren't super structured. We were like, what if we just tie the hair in knots? What if we make these sections and then we just sort of go for it and tie them off? So this is how we got to more of that aesthetic. And for me, there's a couple things I want to teach you because there is some banding involved. And I think there's another opportunity for us to learn. First, half of my ties today were done using the elastic bungee cord, anchor cord. If we go back to me, big screen. And the other half was done with an elastic string, right? So you want to get something that's very flexible, not too skinny, so it has some grip and girth to the hair, but also not too thick because then it just feels like a big band on the hair. And so to do this, a couple things, I've already started it so that I can really focus on what's happening. Let me take away, it's like tripod traffic jam here. Okay, so you want to be holding the hair with the back of your hand. Why do I want to hold it with the back of the hand? Because that is much flatter than this part, right? You've got the thumb, you've got all kinds of things. The back of your hand, you can really get that section nice and tight. Or if you prefer the word taut, okay? Once you're there, you want to take and hold that band, just like we were with the cable. And then, sorry if anyone's in beauty school, we're all by ourselves. I would normally have an assistant, but what I did for this is I put it in my mouth. Oops. Right into the old kisser, right? And then you take and you wrap around, press hard. Wrap around, keeping that tension, press hard. Wrap around, press hard. Take it down because you don't want to see tying it off. You take it down. Now I need one more clip. Woo! Just going to take this out of the way so you can see. Tie it down and around. Like so. And then you give it one more little tie. And that's it. You snip it off when you're done. Snip snippities. Don't use your best scissors. And that's it. That holds better than anything. Go 100 miles an hour at a wall, that is not coming out. Okay, so let's do something more freestyle than we have done with the previous. So I'm not going to put an elastic at all into the top. I'm going to give it kind of a smooth roll. So what I want this one to be is more like the one we created at Milk Studios in New York when we were doing our editorial class for Sweden. Okay, so what this is all about is feeding the hand and then starting to give it a little bit of a twist and then really check the profile, because I want to give it a twist at the right point to where it's pushing hair forward. It's not like a dumb kind of 1990s all in the back, where we're getting a little more, nothing wrong with the 90s if you still got that style, where we're giving it a little more air and volume toward the front, just for a little bit different feel. Now I can take that, twist it a little stronger, check all the way around. Am I good here? She's good. Am I good here? She's good. And now take those small yet painful little pins, you've taken all the nubs off, and start pinning into your, it's almost like a French twist at this point. Sorry if I am making you dizzy. So you just want to go away and in. And same thing. Get right into that and then pinning it in. You can take a regular pin too if you feel like you need some anchorage. And I like to kind of go right up the middle of it. It's just giving me some extra support. And now we have kind of a cute little middle type thing. And so now what I'm going to do, again, a take on a similar thing. We're going to give this a wrap around. Or what we can do is we can just start tying these in knots. So you wrap it, then pull your finger through, then give it a pinning. And try and pin it so they're not going to show. That is a black pin that likes to show. Same thing here. Give it a loop. Take two fingers, pull it through. And so now you can see it's a similar look, but it's maybe more marketable. I like the idea of, when weddings happen again, and they will, I like the idea of having this same texture to the hair, the same sectioning to the hair, and then just really kind of giving everybody their own look from it, I think is a really interesting thing you could be doing. And so there, up into the style. And for this one, I'm going to let it spray, let it spray, let it spray. And then just see if you made ugly, right? So it's a little ugly right there. So what do? Get our pins. But I feel like every upstyle is original. No two are ever exactly, the same. I've never had an upstyle be exactly right from the very second it begins. Usually there's a bit of zhuzhing that's required to get it just to the perfect place. But I wanted to show you that, right? So she has long hair. We didn't have to add extensions. We're able to just kind of play and do some fun stuff. Easy to do. Didn't have to do anything. Maybe a little bit of heat styling spray to get the look. So now, my darling friend Pooja, do you have anything you can add to today's lessons, events, all that
Yeah,
good.
I have to say, if I had a favorite one, it was going to be the last one that you did, and I'll tell you exactly why. The great technique you just showed of the way you were rolling the hair and then slightly pushing it forward while looking at the profile the whole time. If
Yeah.
everybody just noticed how soft that the pompadour is and the volume is, it's not it's very natural. It doesn't look like there was a bunch of back combing in it, but again, it's the way you were slowly rolling the hair and pushing it forward and taking your time with it to build that profile shape. So I will say the last one is my most favorite.
Ooh,
Very classy.
gets
Yeah.
yeah, and they're more elegant, right? So I feel like we've got warrior, cool, edgy, editorial girl here. These two go up and down. I'm learning, folks, normally on stage, now working out of my living room. So this one, I really like this one too, Pooja, and I like that we birthed this baby in New York, which is perfect for our team, for our theme. But I like this for the edge, the editorial, the cover, and so forth. I like this for young, prom, loose, sexy, going out with the girls. Don't want it to be too forced, but you do want a bit of structure, could be a formal. And then what I love about this one is even though it's the exact same sectioning and partings, the lines have disappeared. And it's not just because she's a platinum blonde, it's that actually looping around and pulling things together that gives you that vibe. Any other questions from the team? Make sure you send your love to Pooja. I'm so grateful that she joined us here today, and we're going to be working together, even if it is virtual, very soon. Any other last minute questions as we
Got
wrap?
lots of love, lots of hearts. Everyone loved the look. And so I did throw out a call to action to everybody who is on the training with us, is if you want to create your own boho look and your version of it, do it and post it on Instagram and tag Michael Sean Corby, tag the Grand Pooja, tag me, the Colleen Moderano. We would love to see how you can create your own beyond boho look.
I sure would. And keep them coming and let us know if you like the new format. I personally am awake at the end of this one, which is awesome. And it's in big part to having such a beautiful guest with me. And thank you, Colleen, for facilitating these. And thank you, Marnie, for turning them into YouTubes available down the road. I appreciate that. So that's all from me, folks. If there are no further questions, I'll try and give you your afternoon. I took 3 extra minutes. I thank you so much. I'm Michael Sean Corby, Global Creative Director for Living Proof, and we'll see you in about a month. Make sure you check into @Michael Sean Corby on Instagram. We have lots of live tutorials coming out every week. And also I interview a lot of interesting, unique people, anyone from gurus to diets to industry icons. You can check those out there. Thanks again, Pooja.
Thank you, everybody, so much. This was so much fun, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Our
Bye.
virtual course is August 4th, and it is a cutting course. So we'll see you guys then.
Less than a month.
Less than a month. All right. Bye, everybody.